Elegoo is a company mostly known for their resin 3D printers like the Mars 2, Mars 2 Pro, and also the recently released Saturn. Now it turns out they also stepped their foot in the game of FDM printing, also known as fusion deposition modeling. So in the past I've done a couple of reviews for them on the Mars 2 Pro, and I will also be doing one for the Saturn, and they wanted to see what I was capable of doing with this one as well, and figured I could show you guys what this machine is actually capable of. So the machine comes partially pre-assembled, but it does require a couple of finishing steps. In the instructions it's really easy to follow, and if you're not able to follow the instructions on the flash drive that comes with the printer, there is also a really cool instructional video going super in-depth on how to assemble the entire printer. What I've learned from that specific video is that the print bed is 9 out of 10 times a little bit loose and needs to be adjusted to fit super tightly and have a smooth motion. A couple of these bolts underneath need to be tightened, some need to be loosened, and in order to do that there are a couple of tools included in the kit itself. So just tighten them and make sure that the bed is nice and steady, and you're pretty much, after the final assembly, good to go with the first test print that is also included on the flash drive. So the print bed itself is heated as well. So firstly, before it starts printing, it will heat up the print bed and then also start heating up the nozzle after that first initial heat is finished. Then does a little line at the side just to get any trash out of the nozzle, and it starts with the first print. A little over an hour later and the first initial test print is finished and completely successful. I was really happy with that initial test print, so I moved it upstairs and could start the rest of the printing. After installing the printer upstairs, I of course needed to create a couple more files. This was done with Elegoo Cura, or otherwise known as Cura, but this specific version was made by Cura for Elegoo to work on the Neptune 2. It is a simple slicer. You just put in a couple of files, create of course the correct size you want to print. In this case I took out a really fluffy unicorn, sized it down a little bit just to speed up the print, of course, as an example for you guys. You can also decide how much infill you want. The more infill you put in, the longer it will take to finish the print, but the stronger the print will be as well. Mostly 20 to 30% infill is good, but that is a pure judgment and a little bit of experience, so that is up to you guys. The file was sliced and exported to the SD card that was included with the printer, inserted in the printer, and I could then select the specific file on the SD card that I wanted to print, and that is of course the unicorn that I just showed you guys. After confirming the file to be printed, on the screen you can see the temperature of the bed that it's going to be heating up to, and also the needle. Firstly, it will heat the bed, and once that is completed, it will move on to heating up the needle. Once the needle is up to temperature, it starts printing. I do quickly want to mention that on that initial test print it showed a small preview image of the actual file it was going to be printing, and in this case it's not showing that anymore. Now that comes down to me using an Apple or Mac computer, and that version of Cura is not yet updated to the final version. And they will be updating the Mac or Apple version of Cura to include that small test file or that small image on the screen, but it's not yet there. So with the Windows version, it does give you the preview file and preview image on the screen. With the Mac version, not yet, but that is to come in the future. One of the super cool features this printer has is that if for some reason the power goes out, it has a resume option. So after that short power outage, the printer quickly resumes and reboots itself. So you can just press the resume button, it will then start heating up the print bed again, and also the needle. Once those have reached their final temperatures and are ready to print again, it will just quickly reset and relocate so it knows where it exactly is, and then of course continues with the print to finish it. Once the print is completed, I'd advise to let the printer cool down for a bit, as the print bed is heated up and so is the needle, and you don't want to burn yourself, so just let it cool off a bit and then move on to removing the print. There is a nice flex plate on top, just a couple clips to remove, bend it here and there, and the print easily comes off. Now of course on this one, since I simulated the power outage, there is a little residual plastic on the section where it stopped. That is no big deal, of course you can just easily cut it off, but as you can see it pretty cleanly just moved on to the rest of the print. One of the other really cool options on this printer is the filament change option. So mid-print you can just easily select that option. It stops the print and it unloads the actual filament that is in there currently. You can change it out to either a new roll or maybe even a different color entirely. You just load the new filament up, then press load on the screen, and it will just start printing again where you left off, but then with the new color or new filament. Once new filament has been put in, you simply press load, confirm. Once it is completely loaded, confirm again. Then you return to the main screen and press resume. It will then of course start heating up again and resuming where you left off. This was just a quick example. As you can see, it started off with the black filament on the outline, and then once changed over to the gray one, it moved on to the next layer with the gray. There are also a lot of other options that you can do during the printing. Actually changing the temperature of the extruder, needle, even the print bed. You can speed up or speed down the fan, of course the filament change, and you can actually speed up the entire print too. Now I'm just leaving them at the standard settings. I've tried a couple of these options but never really figured out if that was necessary. The standard settings worked really well for me, so I just left it at that. And just to get the elephant out of the room, you're probably aware that these resin printers on the market these days are creating a lot finer layer height and therefore creating a lot nicer of a finish on the actual prints. The downside, of course, to those resin prints is that they are quite brittle and the resin is a lot more expensive. The upside is the detail is much higher. Now just to set that aside, I'm using this printer more as a tool creator printer. And with tool creation, I'm talking about some of these things. Actual clips that hold your bags of chips that you just opened and closed then again tightly, so that of course the chips doesn't go to waste. Now as you can see, the prints are really clean. The layer lines are still there, of course, as this is a 1mm or 0.1mm layer height. It can be visible, but these prints are extremely strong. Now there are some other fun prints you can do with this as well. Just for the heck of it, of course, I decided to print this rocket. It's a pretty big print. It took a long while to print, but it really came out super clean. So that initial cloud was just printed in one big piece, and the rocket itself came in multiple different pieces. The top section, the main body, even some of the window holes, the flag on the side, and of course the main rocket piece. That were all different pieces, but they slid together really easily afterwards. No sanding or cutting required. That is how exact this printer can be. Now with those fun prints out of the way, it's time to move on to some actual functional prints. As you know, I'm really fond of my hobby zone organization on my actual desk, but there was still a little bit of room for improvement on the organizational side. Inside of a drawer, it's usually just a wide open space, things get thrown in them and or get lost and never found again, or just really messy. So I decided to create a couple of simple designs on Tinkercad. That is a really easy CAD software to design simple 3D things. So I kept it easy for myself, as these are my first 3D designs. I made a couple of parts holders and some organizational stuff for in this specific drawer, specifically for the flocking, just to get it a lot more organized and also to give it a bit cleaner of a look. So again, these are some really simple designs. This probably could have been made out of plastic sheet material as well, super easily, but I thought it would just be fun to create it in Tinkercad and start my first initial designs and prints on my own. I hope this video gave you a really good insight on what the Neptune 2 is actually capable of doing for you in printing, having some fun, and also maybe even creating some tools and organizational stuff for your workbench. If you have any specific questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I will also leave the contact information for Elegoo if you want to know more about this printer or are interested in purchasing one for yourself.